What's up, guys? C-May OPTCG here today with a little bit of a different video. We got the Bonney mirror matchup. It's not the same deck list that I ran in the previous videos. It's a little bit different, but we'll go over that at the end of the video. I have 3 short games that I'm gonna go over today. They're short because people tend to leave. They're not like, it's kind of hard to have just like a straight up Bonney game, a Bonney versus Bonney game. But you will probably run into it at locals. I did last week. Even in regionals, treasure cups, stuff like that. So I just thought I'd make a video on how you can kind of play into the Bonney matchup, the Bonney versus Bonney matchup. So yeah. Let's see what games we got, and then let's get right into it. Okay, getting right into the first of the 3 games. I think this is probably the best one out of the 3. Make a pretty good play here with Hody. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Sounds off. I can go ahead and put in 2x speed as well. Alright, so right away we have 2 Shanks. That's great. We'll search, pick up an Apu. Nothing really to do here. We'll try to get this blocker out of the way. Nice. Honestly, we can slow it down just a bit. So she's swinging 7. Cool. We'll take that, honestly. Plays another blocker. So right now we could play Cavendish or Carrot. There's not really a need to play Carrot, so we'll just play the Cavan. Another thing we could have done is, instead of attaching the Dawn, we could have kept one and then played the Resonante blocker, but the board's not that threatening, and plus it's a 1000 counter, so we went ahead and got rid of the Cavendish right there because we already have one on board. There's no point in keeping it right now. We'll freeze that. So Carrot is really good to have out against Carrot's really good to have out against Bonney. So we'll go rest the leader here. We kept 1 Dawn up, so we could still use our ability, and then we got out the blocker just in case they, try to Shanks the Cavendish here or something crazy. I think next turn, since they don't really have anything crazy out, I think we just play Hody here. Hody's really good into Bonney because... See, there we go. That's why we played that blocker. Hody's really good into Bonney because you can rest the Dawn, so you actually get all of your swings. So it's important to play that out. And then, obviously, we'll freeze with Carrot. We'll get our Dawn back with Cavendish. But yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll rest that Dawn, and we'll just rest the Jewelry Bonney. We're not really trying to kill Shanks right now. Swing 7 there. Swing 6 there. Take out the Searcher. We still got 2 more. So we'll swing this 8 at life. Freeze the Cavendish. Nice. And then we'll swing, what is that, 10? 9 at life. Yeah, so that's good. We just got rid of 3 2Ks right there. And next turn, he's going to swing with the Shanks. And we can just freeze that with Jewelry Bonney. I mean... Game's not looking too great. Or we could honestly just play Shanks and KO it, but I don't remember what I did here. Plays a Captain Kidd with a Resonante. Okay. So what we gotta do here, I'll pause this. So don't say, hey, C-May, you could literally just play Shanks. No, if you try to KO it, this blocker will obviously get it'll take the hit for it. So in my mind, you got to think in your mind, how can I deal with this board right now? I have 2 Shanks, a Hody, a Jewelry Bonney, and a Smoker in hand with a 2K. He has 3 cards in hand, 2 life. How can we deal with this board with 2 onboard characters, and Shanks and a Hody? My thoughts... We gotta freeze the Shanks. We can't afford to keep getting hit by Shanks, right? So what we want to do is we want to swing exactly 8 I'm trying to do with math here, but I want to have enough for 8 here. That way we could at least get the blocker out of the way. That's fine. We can just freeze. If he rests, what is he? He's already had 2 Rosinantes. So if he has another one in hand, he can rest this, and he'll rest the Captain Kid, and he won't attack with it. So it's good that we froze the Shanks, right? They get 2 Dom back. I'll rest the blocker. And we're not taking that. We'll take that hit, though. Okay. So now we're all frozen. We'll just swing that into the blocker here. We'll play a Shanks. We gotta get rid of that Captain Kid. And then it sucks, but he can only swing with one of the 10,000 swings. And he doesn't know that I don't have counter, right? Instead, he goes clearing for board. He probably could have went for game and got it, but he didn't. Another Captain Kid. That's crazy. But it's pretty much just it's over. Like, I'll take this, I think. Yeah, like, I don't need to not. Because, like, you just play a Odie here, rest. I'm coming at him with 5 swings. It's over. But Hody Jones is a great card against the Bonney matchup, the mirror matchup. Yeah, he had 3 Rosinante blockers, a killer blocker, and 2 Captain Kid 8 drops, a Shanks on board, and a Dofi, and we were still able to win. Yeah, that was the first mirror matchup. There's 2 others, but they're like way shorter than this, so we'll kind of speed through those 2 and just kind of see what like plays we can get. So we'll go next. Okay, we got game number 2. I'm at 1.5 times speed. Let's go ahead and get into it. So right away, I kept this because we can search for our mid game here. We have an early game, sort of a mid game with Carrot, and then we wanted to search for that Cavendish. And we also have Shanks on the board for kind of a late game. The next thing I want to search for with the Jewelry Bonney is definitely a Captain Kid. We already have the killer blocker. So I think that, well, we could get a Captain Kid or we could get a 2K. Either or would be perfectly fine. They just drew a Basil Hawkins. And then they just kind of sit here for a minute, so not too sure they're debating on. But we can go ahead and search again. And we take the 2K. We just saw 2 more Cavendishes that we just bottom decked. But we can go ahead and just search one more time. Kind of mill through the deck a little bit. We're just trying to honestly get, yeah. There's our 1 Doflamingo, but we're trying to get the Captain Kid just so we have options. And I'm not too worried about the Don being up, honestly, because they're going to want to take out both these anyways, or else I can just keep searching every single turn. So I can do that. They should have swung first before playing the Cavendish, but maybe they wanted the Don up. I'm not too sure. But we can just go ahead and freeze that with Carrot right away. And then, yeah, I didn't want the Carrot to be frozen, so I just went ahead and ended turn there. I do think I make a couple of misplays, either in this game or the next game, but it's whatever. I mean, we're learning. I personally haven't played many Bonney mirror matchups until I'm making this video, so it's definitely a little different. But we just we gotta swing this first every time to freeze the Carrot or the Cavendish. It sucks that our leader gets rested, but at the end of the day, it's kind of worth it. So we can kind of search again for another 2K. Might as well if it's on the board. And then we'll go ahead and play out the Cavendish, and then we'll go ahead and play out a little blocker since we already have 2 other chump blockers in the hand right there. So we already have another killer and another Rosinante, and then we have 6K in counter. So we're not looking too terrible, but they do have two pretty meaty characters on the board. But if I remember right, they don't put a Don on the Captain Kid this turn. I don't remember though. But they're doing exactly what you don't want to do against Bonney, and that is play characters out and then attack. You always want to attack first before you play any characters out. Unless it's Cavendish, which is a weird... Like, Cavendish is a weird situation because you want that Dawn back. So, like, in this scenario where I'm playing right now, you have to... They do put a Dawn on. Okay. In this scenario, you got to either say, do you want to get your Dawn back? What's more important to you, getting your Dawn back or freezing a character? So, like, to me, it was freezing the Cavendish. Oh, wait, I don't think they have any Dawn up, do they? That's where they messed up. Okay. So they play... Yeah, okay. I didn't even notice that. So they attach the Dawn to Captain Kids and, like, rest the Captain Kids so they can pull out the blocker with it. And them doing that cost them... Well, they got angry. Which sucks, but... I mean, my board was pretty big anyways, but they didn't put the Rosinante blocker out, so I could just KO it with Shanks. And then I can just start swinging into life because they can't rest any of my other characters. So I had two more swings. One for 7, the other one for 6. So they just won, or they just left. They got mad, and thank God they did. Their life was pretty scary right there, so... I think they had a 2K, a Hody, a Basil, and a Dofi. And then I had a Hody, a 5-drop Bonney, an Apu. A Zoro was in my life, and an Apu. Okay, maybe my life was a little pretty good too. A Zoro, 2Ks, and a Hody. Like, come on. That's pretty good. But, alright, yeah, let's go on to the third and final game. Just kind of see what you can expect if you're playing a Bonney Mirror matchup. And then after that, we'll just get right into the deck list, and then that'll be it. So, yeah. Okay, we have the third and final game here. It is a quick one. We got 1.5 times speed, and let's get into it. Oof, all mid game. We'll take it, I guess. Oh, I like taking it because we have the Zoro in hand. We only run 2 of those, so I kind of wanted to keep it and see how the Zoro played into this matchup. So they go ahead and swing 6. I'll take that. They have a blocker. We rested it, so let's go ahead and just take that out real quick. We'll save 2 up, and we will play a blocker as well. Alrighty. So I want to see the Smoker get played out this game. I haven't been able to play it out in the last 2 games, I don't think, which kind of sucks because we want that Dawn activation. But what really sucks is I messed up here, and I should have played the Smoker after I swung 6, but luckily they rest our killer instead. So we'll activate 1 Dawn in turn. Euros is a card that's pretty optional. I actually like running it a lot with the end of turn setup. 1 Dawn is active. It's a pretty good like early to mid game starter, and it has 1,000 counter, so you can run that instead of Basil Hawkins if you really want to. I just keep Basil in there for matchups against like black decks or like removal decks like Shanks and stuff like that. So that's like the only reason I keep it in there, but it's not mandatory. We'll go ahead and swing 5 or 10 into the Bonney. We'll waste some counter. I was really trying to get out a blocker there, but it's okay. We can always rest another blocker. And then I went ahead and deployed Cavendish, and then I had 2 Dawn up, so with the extra Dawn, I went ahead and played a a Bonney so we can kind of search. We kind of want to see a Captain Kidd or maybe even like a killer blocker or something. Just something with counter. Maybe an OP2K, you know, something along those lines. But they're not really. So I like noticed something when I was playing this game is they're setting up a complete defense board. And I had 10 Dawn. I was like, they have no threat really, because so like they'll rest that. That's fine, but we can swing 8. Like, we'll rest this. Grab a blocker. I like this. Play the blocker. Attack here. Attack here. Get a blocker out of the way. They don't want to take the banished life. And then we still have the 1 Dawn from Smoker. Like, that turn is just crazy, man. Like, and then next up we have Hody Jones. We can just play next turn to rest any Dawn that they have left or any blockers that they have up, because like I said, they're not really commanding. They don't really have a commanding board. They have 3 blockers, and they can freeze the Zoro all they want. I still have a pretty good amount of stuff on the board that we can use. Like, yeah, that's fine honestly to get rid of the Smoker. I mean, but I do have a blocker, so they just wasted all their Dawn just to try to take out the Smoker, and we have a blocker. So yeah, I think we just. Oh, I was fearful of the Shanks. That's why I played out the Resonante. I was like, they could have a Shanks that they could play out after this turn, because they're obviously going to use some blockers. And they have 4 Dawn up. Like, they could be running events. Everybody's playtesting different stuff here, so I kind of played the cautious game. And then I went ahead and played that so I played the Jory Bonney so I could just go ahead and freeze the Cavendish so they don't get any Dawn back. And then I went ahead and just passed turn. I don't want anything rested because I don't want anything KO'd. I'm setting up for next turn. So if they, and plus if I would have swung and they had like a 10 drop Doflamingo in hand, they could have frozen 3 characters. It just wouldn't have been pretty. So I went ahead and just stopped while I was ahead. We only have 2k in counter, so anything that like gets swung at is just gonna die after this blocker. Boom, we blocked it. And then I was wondering what they were gonna do. Yeah, they just attached 4 Dawn, and then I rested it already, and they lose. There was the Shanks that I was worried about, but we can go ahead and pause right there and just kind of do the math. Like, they had what, a 2k in hand, and then they had another 2k and then 1k. So they would have lost so hard next turn. I mean, I can just play. I don't even know if I have to play Hody. I don't even have to play Hody. I just swing with Zoro. I want to swing with Zoro because it'll make them rest somebody else, which would probably be the Smoker. I still get the Smoker's abilities, right? Or I still get the Smoker's activate main, so that's +1 Dawn. Like, stand back up. So what I would do is I would probably swing 9, 9, 9 with Zoro. They can't counter, or they would block probably. They'd probably block all 3 of them, right? Ooh. I could have at least cleared the blockers. So I'd probably swing 9, 9, 9, right? Take out these 3. They have a Shanks in hand, which is fine. We would lose the Zoro, but they would have 0, or they would have so I swing 9, 9, 9, right? Those are blocked. Then I swing I don't know, I could swing like 8 here. 9 here, 9 here, 9 here. They get a blocker. They play out these 2. I play Hody. I just rest again, and then I just swing all over again. Like, I don't know. The game was just over. There's no way that he wins that. But, okay, cool. That was the last game, so let's get on to the deck list now. Okay, so on to the deck list that we were running against the Bonney versus Bonney matchups. This is really similar to my last deck in my previous videos. We did, I guess we can just go through, like, one of the changes I did was I took out one of the Doflamingos. I only run one because it's more of a situational card. I like the more aggressive approach with the two Zoros. But yeah, let's go ahead and go over the deck list. We got the Jewelry Bonney, which, if you don't know what the ability does, rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters once per turn when they're attacking for 1 Dawn. We run in the 4 Cavendish per usual. You have to. The same 2Ks, so 4, and then 4 Tashigi, 3 Captain Kidd, 3 Rosinante blockers. 3 killer, 3 Rosinante blockers, 3 Captain Kidd, 8 drops that bring out the blockers. 1 Doflamingo for if you have it in hand and you need to use it, great. Are you in trouble if you don't have it? No. Right? I mean, a couple months ago, this deck was running 4 of these. So that shows you how much the meta has changed. We're still running 4 Hodies. Like I said, we got the 2 Zoros for those aggressive matchups that you need to go more aggressive. Into Bonney, I think that Zoro's better than Doflamingo, honestly. I like that card. We'll keep it there. We're running 2 of the Jewelry Bonney just in case they do play a Shanks or we don't draw a carrot, so we want to freeze a Cavendish a turn. So that's a really good card. Or we could freeze Dawn with it even. It's really nice. And then, like I was talking about with the Hodie, you can rest up to 2 of their Dawn or 2 of their characters or a character and a Dawn. So that's great. You could get all your attacks off, which is really nice. We're playing the Basil for, like I said, pretty situational blocker. It's just if you're playing against a removal deck, it's really good. So I like keeping that on the board in those situations only. If not, I tend to not use it as a blocker. Like, if I were to have played this card and it's not like a removal deck, sometimes I won't even use it as a blocker. I'll still just attack with it because it's still a 6/7. So it's fine to attack with it too. Don't be afraid to attack with your Basil Hawkins. Especially since we're running, the killers and the Rosinantes, and we still have 1 Dawn up always for resting an opponent's character anyways, so it's really not that bad. Plus we have the carrot and the Jewelry Bonney, so I think it's fine to use this as an attacker. We're running 3 carrots, 3 of the Banished Smokers. Like I said, these 2 pair up really nice together, setting up the Dawn. Also, Tashigi's really good for removal decks. If your Zoro is rested and you still have the Dawn for it, you could play out, a little chump blocker and a Tashigi, and that thing's not getting removed. Same thing with the Captain Kidd. If you play this out with the Captain Kidd and you already have a blocker on board, it's just going to be really hard for that to be removed. And then we're running the 4 Shanks, which is probably in this meta one of the top 3 best cards in the deck. So that's the deck list that we were running today. I do want to go over another just deck list that we were looking at. I found this deck on Twitter. I forget who made it, but this is a very interesting deck as well. With the 4 Cavendish, we're running 3 Apu 2Ks, 4 Apu 2Ks, and then 4 of the Tashigi 2Ks. They're running a lot more they're not running any killer blockers, but we can still search up the Supernova blockers with Borsellino and Veggie. And those can all 3 come out with Captain Kidd. And then if you do have a searcher on board with the Bartolomeo, you can rest that searcher. When you rest it, you get to draw a card and trash a card from your hand. So this is kind of more of like a milling deck. We have the Rosinante out here, so we can, rest it and play our 5 drops. So one of these 3. I know you're thinking, there's no carrot, there's no Bonney. It's fine. This is a little bit more of an aggressive deck. There's no Zoros and there's no Doflamingos either. But so the way you play it's like milling until you get your big drops, and then you just play your big drops basically. Sadly, the Shanks isn't searchable, but you can still search out the Captain Kids. So like the only big drops that aren't searchable are these. That's why, like I said, we're milling. So it's not really searching. We're just kind of drawing a card, trashing a card. A Nell. If you have 2 or more rested characters, draw 3 cards and trash 2 cards from hand. So I think it's definitely fun. I haven't played this deck too much as I was making this video, but I might, if I start liking this, I'll give the guy who made it on Twitter credits, because I'll have to find it again. I forget who made it. And then we will play test with this one as well. I like running the 3 of the whoever wins this war becomes justice, because we are only running, what is this, 11 2Ks, I believe. Yes. So, but like I said, we make up for that in blockers. We have 4, 6, 8, 10 blockers as well. So, pretty interesting deck. Looks fun. So, yeah, we might make a video with this one coming out soon too. But, as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.